Welcome back to the cafe. Louis V here, and if you're a vinyl lover like me, you know that records offer a richer, more authentic sound than any other format. But here's the catch. That amazing sound quality can quickly degrade if you do not take care of your records. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to protect your collection from damage, maintain sound quality, and extend the lifespan of your vinyl. Trust me, a little maintenance goes a long way. So what are some common problems we vinyl owners face? Well, there's dust, scratches, static electricity, warping, and even mold. These are all threats that can ruin the sound of your records or even make them unplayable. And I'll bet most of us have experienced that frustrating moment when you hear a pop or a crackle that wasn't there before. Or notice a slight warp, you know, when I hate that. I hate that, especially when it makes your record skip. But don't worry, there are solutions to all of these problems, and I'm gonna cover them all today. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty for caring for your vinyl records. Here's how to keep them looking and sounding their best. Okay, the first up is about proper storage. First and foremost, store your records vertically to prevent them from warping. You can think of it like storing a fine bottle of wine. Keep them upright in a stable and cool environment, and make sure you use high quality inner sleeves that are made of anti-static material like these polyethylene sleeves here, or you also want to get yourself some good solid outer sleeves to protect the covers from dust, environmental elements, and even from sliding in and out of the shelf, which can scrape up against the other records. Finally, avoid overcrowding. Don't pack your records so tight that they're squished together. Leave a little space between them to prevent pressure damage and to make browsing easier. Okay, onwards to handling records. When you're handling your records, always hold them by the edges or the label center. Do not grab them by the grooves. Do not touch the grooves. I've seen so many YouTube videos showing off vinyl records, and they pull them out, touching the grooves like this without having a sleeve on, and it just makes me cringe. It's like watching somebody get murdered in a horror movie. All of that, right? Even with your clean hands, it leaves oils and attracts dust and dirt, and over time this can lead to pops and clicks during playback. Be gentle with them. Use both hands to remove and place your records back into their sleeves. Avoid forcing them in or out, which can cause scratches or tears. Just be gentle. Number 3, cleaning techniques. Now for cleaning, I like the everyday maintenance. You use a carbon fiber or anti-static brush to just gently remove surface dust just before you play a record. Now, if you need to do deeper cleans, use a vinyl safe solution with a microfiber cloth, or better yet, invest in a record cleaning machine. My favorite record cleaning machine, the best investment I have ever made, is the Humming Guru. They just came out with a brand new model as of this video, which is the Humming Guru Nova. Super convenient, but I do understand that comes for many folks at a premium cost, even though it's a fraction of what ultrasonic cleaners go for, at least the alternatives. So a step kind of down from that would be a Spin Doctor. You can get a Spin Doctor. They're fairly inexpensive. You can get them for under $100 US, and that's still too much. You might want to look at getting yourself a groove washer kit, a cleaning kit. I like the cleaning kit because it comes with the solution, it comes with, I believe, the cleaning cloth, it comes with a stylus cleaner. It gets you a lot of things to get you up and running and cleaning your records, and I still even use the groove washer. I think it complements the Spin Doctor or the Humming Guru perfectly. For manual cleaning, make sure you place your record on a clean flat surface. I like putting it on top of another microfiber towel just so it doesn't directly impact the surface, causing accidental scratches, whether they're surface scratches or deep scratches. If you just put it on a surface, you don't know if there's dirt or anything in between the record and the surface, so just be safe than sorry. Put it on a nice lint-free cloth or a microfiber towel, and then gently wipe the record in a circular motion, following the grooves, and then use, if you're doing any sort of wet clean, if you're using a solution, use a dry cloth to remove any of the remaining moisture. I like using a separate cloth for that, just kind of quick dry it off. And I think if you do this appropriately, these methods will prevent debris from getting deeper into the grooves and help maintain that rich, warm sound we all love. Remember, no household cleaners. Oh my God, on the internet, I don't know what is going on, but just bunker stuff about using harsh cleaners, things like Dawn dish soap, taking records, throwing them underneath your faucet. Like, listen, use the right stuff and it's gonna stretch the life of your records, and it's also gonna stretch the life of your stylus, okay? Those household cleaners, they're not designed to clean records. They're too harsh and they can damage your records. Okay, the fourth item on our list is turntable maintenance, and you got to remember your turntable, especially your stylus, is the thing that is contacting the grooves of these records, right? So when we're talking about record maintenance and preserving the life of your records, you also have to take a look at your turntable. So keep your turntable clean and level. Make sure you regularly clean your stylus with a stylus brush. If you need to do more intensive cleaning than that, consult to the manual of your stylus to ensure, or your cartridge, to ensure that you're following the right guidelines. There's a lot of things out there now with gels, etc., and even cleaning solutions for stylus that could harm or damage your stylus. So do your research, take the extra 10 minutes to find an online PDF manual, read and see how you do proper care. Now for me, on a stylus brush, I brush my stylus every time I listen to a side, not an album, a side of a record. So side A, I swipe, side B, I swipe, and so on. And it's always from back to front, never front to back, never side to side. It's always back to front. So you're going from the tone arm out to the open space. Also with your turntable, you're going to want to make sure you check your tracking force and your alignment settings, as improper settings can wear down both your stylus and your records. Even if you feel everything is righty-tighty and everything is good, I'm OCD. I kind of check mine at least once a month, but you can easily do it every quarter, every 6 months, especially if you don't have any kids or pets that could impact. If you're the only one operating your turntable, you can probably go a little bit longer than before you have to check. But for me, I try to do at least part of my monthly just health check on my turntable. Every first Friday of the month, I just go through and just make sure everything looks sound, and I can usually get it done within 5 minutes or so, so it's not really a big deal for me to do. Okay, next up is minimizing static and dust. Now, static can be a big problem. It attracts dust, which can cause those pops and clicks that you hear. So to minimize static, use an anti-static brush like we talked about every time you play the record. And if it's really bad, get yourself one of these. This is a zero stack gun. It allows you to decharge whatever you point at it and pull the trigger. On a record, there is these methods that have the best optimal results. I think it's 5 or 6 different clicks at various different places around the records. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that would teach you how to use it. You can get one of these for $100. Maybe they're a little bit more, maybe they're a little bit less now, but they're like $100. It's a great tool to have. Now, if you have an ultrasonic cleaner, it will go ahead and remove static from it just through the normal cleaning cycle. So that tends to be what I default to. But before I had an ultrasonic cleaner, this was a big tool in my arsenal to keep the static down. Now, you also want to keep those records in the anti-static sleeves. Anytime you're not listening to them, this will prevent static from being built up, which is really good. You also want to think about keeping your room's humidity around 40 to 50%. If your space is too dry, you'll have more static built up. If it's too humid, then you'll risk mold growth on the records. Okay, the last one I have, and then we're going to conclude with some final thoughts here. Number 6 is regular inspections and replacements. And this is going to sound pretty elementary, but you'll be surprised at how many people don't do this on a regular basis. You want to check your records regularly for visible signs of damage like scratches or warping. If you notice a minor warp, try placing a record between two heavy books for a few days to flatten it out. You can also buy some devices for a couple $100. Record Pi is one of them that a lot of folks have had success around. And then sometimes your local record shop can offer services. They tend to use more professional tools, but they can offer services to flatten those records. So that might be worth exploring at your local record shop if you really have a bad warp that's causing the record to skip. Now, regarding surface noise and scratches, sometimes mild scratches can often be cleaned to reduce the noise. However, if you have a record with a significant scratch or damage on it, it's just best to avoid playing it to prevent further harm. You can also replace your worn inner sleeves to protect your vinyl and change your stylus approximately every 500 to 1,000 hours of playtime to ensure it doesn't damage your records. If you're buying a used turntable and you don't know the history or the life of the stylus, I recommend that you get a new stylus before you start playing your precious records with that turntable without having any sense of how many hours are on that turntable and on that stylus, and not having any sense of how good the maintenance and cleaning ritual of that stylus was from the previous owner, you're going to want to just go ahead and replace the stylus. It's worth the investment. It's worth protecting the records to do. Records are funky because once you damage them, they're damaged forever. There's no going back. You can always replace a stylus. You can't replace a record unless you buy a new one. And if you have some rare ones, that becomes almost nearly impossible. Okay, so to wrap up here, the best way to care for your vinyl records just comes down to a few practices. Storing them properly, handling them with care, keeping them clean, and maintaining your turntable. It's really that simple. When you do all of that and you combine it with regular inspections and careful attention to these details, you will ensure your records remain in great shape and sound fantastic for years to come. So for the more seasoned vinyl collectors, what are some of your best tips for caring for vinyl? Did I forget anything? If so, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other videos on vinyl collecting and vinyl tips. This is Louis V, and I'm gonna see you on the next video.